Coming out of a long drought, John and Janine Waring of Eversley, north of Muttaburra, knew they had to find a more efficient and faster recovery method to assist their business viability. A couple of years ago, during the 2021 wet season, John experimented with planting out Mitchell grass seed to help with the recovery. He was happy with the results, and with the coming of the wet in late 2021, John extended his seeding project.
So all this country went underwater in most parts, and the areas where it's all died off, you can see that all came away after the 1st of November. It was beautiful green everywhere, so I couldn't see what I'd actually done. And then same thing happened on the 29th of November. There was another 5 inches in the headwaters.
Having planted the pastures with Mitchell grass seed, John Waring extended the improved pastures. After the rains and the floods across his channels, it was hard to see what improvement the seeding made.
And I just couldn't see whether there was any difference between what I've done or what was growing.
But that soon changed.
But now everything's dried out and we can get into this area. We can see the difference in the different plants and where the furrows are. I think what's happened is where we've seeded, we've dug the scarifiers in the ground about 75 mil. I think we've made a passage for water to get through that clay pan surface. So when you looked at where we seeded, the response across the board was even, and then it didn't rain at all in December. So we had a whole month of no rain. Yep. And the short stuff where I hadn't disturbed the soil, it just laid over and died off.
John believes he's improving the landscape with better, more sustainable pastures, but there is much of a process that is still a mystery he has to sort out.
I'd just like to know what it was that's done it. Is it the seed that we've put in the ground, or is it the scarifying depth? Because some areas here I went a bit deeper. I went a bit deeper than 75 mil with the scarifiers. Some areas I pulled them up and went a bit shallower to try and get the machinery going a bit faster, save a bit of diesel, etc. But it's looking, the areas where I went a bit deeper and a bit slower on has the best result. And the light green stuff, you can see in the hollows here, normally anywhere there was a hollow or bit of greenery from water has been laying, I stayed away from that in case I was disturbing, something was going to grow that I haven't seen. But you can see in the hollow, right next to me, bright green stuff, it's just dead grass as well. And you can see evidence of that there. All these plants seem to be growing on the high side of the rills, and you can see they're all in a straight line. I was a bit hesitant on how deep to go because worried about erosion, worried about drying the soil out if it didn't rain on top of where I've seeded. There's lots of things that come into it. But this is what we got, and I know how I got it there, but I don't know why.
By experimenting with seeding densities and planting depths, John Waring is learning the process that can be used to the best advantage.
I've still got probably 50 or 60 hectares worth of seed in a bag and in the machine. So now I can see what's happening. I've got some more country a little bit further out that I hadn't got to before it rained. I'll hook that machine up again now, finish that job off, but I will go a bit deeper and take that risk. Yep. I'll try and go about 100 mil with the scarifiers. Yep. And probably, if anything after that, I'll just walk a heap of stock across the top and just see what happens. Yep. Hopefully it'll rain again.
Wet season spelling has been at the heart of the Eversley project. As John Waring confirms the benefit of seeding and completes his fencing projects, he will have the options of giving select stock premium pasture while still spelling paddocks.
This has been empty now, since basically last year.
With the assistance of funding through investment in sustainable agriculture by the Australian National Landcare Program, DCQ is working with the Warings, giving support with fencing, the implementation of wet season spelling and pasture monitoring.
It's good because they're doing some monitoring on it, which I really don't have time to do. It's an outsider's opinion. They can see something that I've tried and someone else might get some benefit out of it. But I'll put a fence up out further on the Landsborough channels and that'll give me 3 paddocks. So I can use the others, but I haven't seeded those yet.
John is still stacking up the economics of the project, seeing a faster recovery with higher investment is a viable option.
Older blokes tell me it'll come back on its own, just be patient. I'm not a very patient person, so I want to have it back so I can actually get some advantage of it myself. What I want to try and do is establish that grassed area faster than what it will come back. And seeing what's happened there now, I'm going to get that other tractor over here and I'm going to get all the other country there and just into it.
But with 2 wet seasons seeding, he is already heading towards achieving his goals.
I believe it's definitely worth the investment.
Industry, government and Desert Channels Queensland support the grazing industry in managing for change and a sustainable future on the rangelands.